there was another. Didn't you have another patient, or were we talking about the same patient where you had sent the patient or the mother exercises to try on their own before? Is that the same patient that you described earlier?
Same patient. I left that out.
Just go into those details a little bit, real quick.
Okay, so I was talking on the phone with her at the restaurant with my wife, walking around outside, and she was telling me what was going on with her daughter, and her daughter was sitting right there. I said, all right, you want to try something crazy? I do a lot of total motion release. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
With Tom's methodology?
Tom's Alonzo Baker. Yeah, just totally transformed the way I treat, transformed the way I think about patients. And every patient that I start every single patient that I have with some form of total motion release treatment.
Wow.
So I said, is she sitting right there with you? She said, yes. And I said, which is her bad arm? Well, it's her left arm. I said, see how well she can raise her arm in front of her and over her head. She said, okay. She goes, okay, it's painful at about 80 degrees. I'm like, oh, wow, Mom knows what 80 degrees is. She goes, yeah, it's not quite straight out. And I thought, all right, we're going to get somewhere with you. Yes. So I said, all right, let's try two things. So the first thing I had her do was take her right arm, her good arm, and bring it up and down 2 sets of 25. And she did that. And the daughter, I said, okay, now try to tell me what happens when she raises her left arm. And she raised it up. The mom goes, wow, she raised it a lot higher, and she said it's less painful. I said, awesome. I said, let's try something. I had her sit and do some trunk rotations, which is another one of the total motion release. And I said, which direction to her feels loose? She goes, oh, definitely going to the left. I don't know if it was the left or right, but it was one of those. Definitely this direction.
Yep.
So I said, have her go that direction 25 times. So she did it 25 times. I said, okay, now I'll have her lift her arm up. So she lifted her arm up. She goes, her arm just went all the way up and there's hardly any pain. And I went,
boom.
That's awesome. Yeah. She said,
instant credibility for you.
Instant credibility. Yes, that's what TMR has given me. Anytime I've tried, 95% of the time that I do it over the phone, the patients get, you know what, I would say minimum 60% better. I literally just had a phone call about 2 hours ago. Someone clicked on something on my website, wanted a phone call right away, wanted to get in as soon as they can. This was into North Carolina. So I called them from here, and I said, you know what, tell me what's going on. It was her upper hamstring. She's afraid that she's not going to be able to work out. The doctor wanted her to do an MRI because they think it's a partial tear. She goes, I don't think it's a partial tear, and I don't want to pay $1,200 for an MRI.
Right.
So thanks, Tanya. I can teach you TMR in 5 minutes if you want to be impressive like that, too. It'll take a little bit more than 5 minutes. But she was on the phone with me. I said, well, tell me how it feels right now when you try to lift your right leg up. And she goes, I can't lift it past straight out in front of me because it's too painful. Bill Jones, there's the man who does TMR all the time. I don't know if you know Bill, but so I'm on the phone with her. And Bill, you'll like this story. So I just said, all right, so what I want you to do is I want you to grab onto the back of your left knee. So it was her right leg. Grab onto the back of your left knee, keep your leg straight, and lift your leg up and down as high as you can 25 times. She did it 2 sets.
This is supine or sitting? Or
This is sitting. Okay. Sitting with her legs straight out in front of her. So I said, okay, now try to lift your right leg. She goes, oh, that didn't hurt as bad. She goes, that's kind of weird. I said, you want to see weird? I said, check this out. So I had her lift her right arm up over her head and left arm. This is all over the phone. I was going to do it on video, but she was at work, and I said, okay, let's try this over the phone.
Yeah, wow.
So I said, which arm goes up looser? She said, oh, my right arm by far. I said, okay, take your right arm and bring it up and down 25 times and do 2 sets for me. So she did it. And
you're literally walking this person through this over the phone?
On the phone, yep. That's why I need to get into telehealth, because if I can do it over the phone, man, I can kill it.
Even more with video.
Anyway, yes. So she did 2 sets of 25. And I said, so now lift your right leg up in the air for me and tell me what it feels like. She goes, whoa! I go, what? She goes, it feels normal. I go, what do you mean normal? She goes, I lifted as high as my left leg, and I didn't have the pulling in the butt like I did before. And I said, awesome. And so this was after I had set her appointment up to see who she was going to see. I said, well, I'm going to be sending you 2 videos, just like I did. Let me rewind.
Go ahead.
Back with this lady's mother on the phone at the restaurant. After we did those exercises, I said, you know what? I'm going to send you my sheet that shows the 4 exercises that I want you to start working on before I see you tomorrow, and 2 videos that will show you exactly what we just did. She goes, you would do all that for me? So that was also part of it. Before I actually saw them, they received exercises and videos, and I don't typically give out a whole lot of exercises before I see people. But when they make that type of, when they get those types of results so quickly, I have no problem sending them the exercises because all I have them doing is exercising the good side, not the bad side, so I know they're not going to be injuring themselves more.
Okay, so it lowers your liability. Like there's lower likelihood of irritating someone. You know, they get inflamed and they get worse and they get pissed off at you. Yeah,
exactly. And then the good thing is, if they do too much exercise on their good side and that side gets sore, I get to treat both sides.
we call that a twofer. We call that a 2-for-1 in the business.
Exactly. Yes.
So really quick, with the whole TMR thing, is it like a neurological response? Like how does this work? Not that I mean this video was more about hearing about you and what you described, but now I'm a little curious. I don't know if anyone else is, but I've seen what Tom does in his videos. But is there a reason? Like, is there any way that he's been able to describe what's going on?
There's a whole lot of studies actually coming out now that he has. There's a couple colleges who are looking into. Did I just get paused for a second there?
Yes, you're back. Perfect.
Okay, good. Because with all the evidence-based practice, there were so many people just screaming, saying, "How can you treat someone's left shoulder when it's their right arm?" And I'm like going, "Why can't you? I mean, look what it's doing to your back muscles. You're still having an effect." And actually, when I get frozen shoulder patients in now, I never touch their frozen shoulder.
Oh, man. When I was a new grad, I used to crank on so many frozen shoulders. Oh, man.
I had so many people crying.
Every PT in here has done that.
I know. And, man, it's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And they'd be crying on my shoulder. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We have to do this." And you know what? You don't even have to touch that shoulder. You work the opposite side. You work the trunk. You work the legs. And their arms go up with much less pain. It's like, It makes you wonder, is there anything really frozen in there? Anyway, so total motion release, basically it adds a whole new perspective to things because when someone comes into your clinic and they have a limitation in a movement, what do we do with them? We push them into the limitation, right? And try to glide the joint so that it's freer to move, and we're basically putting them in a position that's uncomfortable for them. What happens when your body's uncomfortable? It compensates. So you're not really getting the true motion anyway. So what can you do? This is the way I look at it. Tom explains it a little bit differently.
Okay.
I like my explanation better than Tom's, but he is the guru, so I will always...
Sure.
Tom rules on this. But what happens if there's other ways that you can move the joint? Like, why can't you move it in a position of comfort? Why not? Because I think, if I remember the story correctly, he came up with this whole thing simply because he had a lady who came into him who was bent over. I don't know if it was an orthopedic surgeon or neurosurgeon, basically said, "Go see Tom. He's going to give you an exercise ball so that you can have after surgery." The lady could not stand up straight for 3 months. So Tom basically showed her what the ball was and had her lay on the ball. She laid over the ball in a flex position. She was like, "Oh my gosh, this is comfortable." He said, "Just stay there." So he went and did something, came back. After, I forgot how long it was, 15 or 20 minutes. He said, "All right, let's see. Go ahead and stand up. You're done. You can take the ball and go." She stood up straight for the first time in 3 months.
What?
She looked at him, he looked at her.
He came across his own an accident like Mackenzie. Like Mackenzie said, "Go lay in the room."
I believe so. I'm pretty sure. Wow. Yeah, and so then what he started doing was he would schedule new patients, and he would run them through a typical physical therapy evaluation along with a typical Mackenzie evaluation and then a total motion release evaluation, all in the same day. So he told them, this is what it's going to be. And every single time he did it, and Bill Jones is saying, "Yep, so I must be semi-accurate."
Thanks, Bill. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah. So he would run them through this, and he would see that the results weren't even close as far as what was happening. Every single time he did the total motion release evaluation, the patient got better. Quicker, easier, much more comfortable, and they were happier. And I'm like going, wow, if you can get somebody better quicker, they're more comfortable, and they're happier, you can't lose. And let me tell you, I'll tell you an honest story. I don't know how much time we have, but I went to his course in Salisbury, North Carolina. He started the course off by saying, "Everything you've ever done in physical therapy, throw it out the window. I want to retrain you."
Oh man!
And I thought, dude,
that's gonna piss off some PTs.
I've been doing this 15 years. You mean to tell me I've been doing it all wrong, dude? And so he called up 3 small girls from the class, put 8 pounds in their hands, and had them lift them straight out to their sides. And every one of them had their dominant side go straight out to the side, and the other ones were anywhere from 60 to 85 degrees. He goes, okay, all you brains out there, what do you want to do? And we all said, strengthen the weak side. Duh. I mean, don't be an idiot. And so he said, well, watch this. And he put 10 pounds in their good hand, had them do 2 sets of 10 reps. Then he put 10 pounds in both hands and said, can you guys lift these to your side? All of them, 90 degrees, both sides. And I just thought, what the heck?
What did I just see?
Yes, so I went through the course, and I kid you not, here's what happened. I get back to my clinic, the first new patient that I see the following day after this course, comes in. He is a homeschool 10th grader who's going to a private school playing soccer. So in North Carolina, homeschool kids can go to private schools to play sports. So he's grabbing his, it was his right knee. I remember it. He couldn't bend it. He couldn't straighten it. It was at about a 30-degree angle. He walked in limping, saying, I'm a soccer player. I've got tournament coming up in 2 weeks. The doctor says I cannot play for 6 weeks. You got to help me. I said, what does the doctor say? He said my the quad tendon is torn right above my kneecap. And I'm thinking, dude, I can't do anything to get you playing. And then I thought, you know what? What the heck? I sat the kid down, literally had him twist one direction, twist the other direction. I went to his looser side following TMR rolls, 2 sets of 25. Actually, back then,
I'm lying. An extension of the good side?
No, of trunk rotation. His trunk rotation to his good side. And then I thought, all right, the kid can't lift his right leg. I said, all right, take your left leg, straighten it out. I want you to lift it up and down 25 times, do it 2 sets.
Like a leg raise?
He did it. Yep, leg raise, 2 sets. So, the guy, I said, okay, stand up and tell me how you feel. Thinking, all right, what the heck's going to happen? And he goes, and I don't talk like this. He's like, what the did you do? And I go, what's wrong? He goes, nothing. I go, what do you mean nothing? He grabbed his leg, he straightened, he kicked, he started running around my clinic. He goes, I have no pain.
No way.
And
I gotta talk to this guy, Tom. I gotta interview him.
Man, my trainer was standing next to me, and she looked at me. She goes, what did you do? I go, I have no idea what I did. And he's like, can I go play soccer? And I said, dude, you need to go back to your doctor, because if he says you have a quad tendon and I put you on the field, that's my butt. And this was on a Monday, and on Thursday he was back at practice because he went to the doctor on Wednesday. I get a call from the doctor, what'd you do? I go, Doc, I had him trunk rotate 25 times 2 sets. Then I had him do straight leg raises in the seated position on his good leg, 2 sets of 25. He said, no, but what did you do to his bad knee? Sure. I said, that's exactly what I did. He said, what do you mean you didn't touch it? I go, he wouldn't let me touch it. It was too painful. And so that started my, wow, this stuff is crazy. I remember texting Tom that day, and he just started laughing. He goes, welcome to my world. He goes, it happens. He goes, and everybody goes, you're crazy. And I go, dude, I feel crazy. I'm trying to explain this to my trainer, and I don't know what I did. So, yes, it has a neurological effect. Yes, there's a carryover effect. Yes.
What's the carryover effect like? For a couple hours, or 1 hour, or 10 minutes, or a day? Or
you know what? There's sometimes that people come in and have no issues again. Other times,
so not necessarily good for business, like not good for recurring business.
Not good for recurring business, but I do tell them, look, just because you're not in pain doesn't mean that we don't have to improve your flexibility and increase your strength. But you know how I improve their flexibility?
The opposite side.
I work their looser side. Whichever side is looser, doesn't matter. Because think about this. If something is tight, if you had a towel and you wrung it, and it's tight, and you're thinking, man, how can I make this looser? By taking it and tightening it up more?
That's a great analogy. That's a great analogy.
Yeah, but if you stretch the other side, you loosen it and you give it freedom. There's so many times I get people, I love, when you get your next sciatica patient, try this.
What do you got? Yeah, let me hear it.
You see what Bill Jones says? Great for recurring business because they have friends.
Yeah, family, friends. No, of course. Obviously, yes, for sure. I agree, Bill.
I know you were being facetious. Bill's a little slow on the facetiousness, but that's okay. He's from Georgia. Anyway, Your next sciatica patient, when they come in and they can't do a leg lift on their painful side, have them grab the back of their knee on their good side, have them pump it up and down 25 times, 2 different sets, and then look what happens to the straight leg raise on the sciatica side.
Sitting or supine?
Yes.
No, so both? Is it sitting
Either
or supine?
one. Yes, either one. Take your pick.
Okay. So if someone has sciatica down the posterolateral side of their left leg, you're doing this on the right leg.
Exactly, because if you did it on the right leg, you'd kill him.
Right.
Yes. So,
and just that,
have a video
just that, and so that's like the test retest. Like you do that.
That's my test retest.
That's the only thing
helps. Yep. And guess what? If it helps, you keep doing it. Because Bill Jones will even tell you, hey, you know what? If something's working, don't stop doing it. Keep doing it until it doesn't work, and then if that stops working, then try to stretch out their piriformis on their good side and watch what happens. I actually have a video out of a lady that came to me who, right before a workshop, she came in and she said, Dean, I need your help. I actually have a video on YouTube that shows me treating her just like that, and literally she went from a 9 out of 10 pain with about 15 to 20 degrees of flexion to 2 out of 10 pain and about 120 degrees of flexion. It was it blew me away, but I just said, all right, if I'm going to do this for you, can I videotape it? She goes, sure. So
have them sign a waiver, whatever, consent.
Yep.
Dean, I can talk to you for hours, I think. They're just hanging out, and there just happens to be some people live here hanging out with us, talking, watching.
Yeah, well, hopefully they're learning something. Hopefully we're entertaining.
I think this has been extremely valuable to anyone that is in my shoes, your shoes, wants to see more cash-paying patients. Like, because we talked about like the business side and value proposition and value and showing, talking and listening to your new patients and ways on how to sell your services and not, settle for what $50 per visit from an in-network office and charging $150 or $200. And now we're talking about TMR, which I didn't even expect, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, Bill, I sure hope that's my video, not yours, that you're pumping on this site there, buddy. He just put up a YouTube video. I'm assuming it's mine. It doesn't matter whether it's mine or his. TMR is TMR. So
where did he put it? What site are you talking about?
He put a post. He commented on the video right here. Are you able to see the comments?
I see Bill Jones' comment. He wrote
Bill
mine.
Just commented his.
Mine,
He did his. I'm going to have to put mine up and see. You can see, and actually all of us people who do TMR maybe even do it a little bit differently, but the results are remarkably the same. And it's one of these things. I went to a doctor's office and was telling him what I do, and he goes, "What are you talking about?" And he was one of these. He was a doctor who you just looked at and you knew he had the real small glasses. Just the one of these people who was just very organized, very meticulous. It's like, hey, if it's not by the book, don't even give it to me. But I just said, hey, let's try something. So I had him do sit to stand exercises, and he could not stand up on one of his legs, but the other leg he just popped right up. And it was me, him, one of my therapists, and his whole staff in the room. I said, let's try something. So I had him do some trunk rotations to his good side. Then I had him do sit to stands on his good side. And I said, let's see if you can stand up on that leg now. And he popped right up. He looked, he goes, that didn't just happen. I said, no, I don't think so. He goes, no, my foot was in a different place. I said, yeah, it must have been. I said, try it again. He popped right up. He goes, no, I must not have tried right the first time. I go, okay. And all his staff is going, what are you talking about, doctor? He goes, you couldn't get your butt off the seat, and you just popped right up. So I love messing with doctors' minds. Although now being in the cash world,
you don't need them.
Still go to doctor's office. I don't need them, but to go to a doctor's office and show them what you can do when they have patients who are going to a physical therapy clinic and they're struggling with getting results. I mean, I can start hitting. I never even thought of going to a doctor's office again in my life. But maybe that's a good way to get in and show them. So.
I tell the front desk, only call me, only refer patients when it's the actual doctor that needs therapy and is in pain and can't do something. Right, or if the doctor wants to pay for this person. There you go. Dean, I could talk to you forever. I think we should definitely have you back. If you are a cash practice owner, if you're a PT, you can feel free, write in the comments or send me a private message here on Facebook. I'd love to get in front of more cash practice owners and PTs just like Dean. I definitely want to have Dean back on because we can just hang out, and next time we'll have to grab some beers or something here digitally, like just while we're hanging out. Digital beers. So if you're a cash practice owner, if you're a PT, go ahead and message me, or if we're not connected, you can connect with me anywhere. I'd love to get more of what we're talking about out in front of you. Like, it is so possible. People are consumers. They're spending money on everything. They're buying stuff on Amazon. They're buying everything. So here's why they will pay you $200 or more dollars per hour per visit for your services. You just have to think a little bit differently. And I think that is exactly what we covered in this video, Dean.